Okie doke, folks, we're back, and we're going to be finishing this image. And once we've put this one in the can, I'm going to go through a workflow using the one-shot color camera, but I need to get some new data with a one-shot color camera. I'm using a couple one-shot color cameras. I have a modified Nikon DSLR that has been modified with the HA filter, and then I have a ASI 183. That's a mono camera. It's a cooled camera also, and so I really haven't decided the target yet, but I'll process that in PixInsight. There's not any difference in doing a one-shot colored camera, with the exception that you have to make sure that where there is an option for color filter array CFA, that you have selected that. And during the process you will want to separate the RG and B channels, and each one of those will have its own unique tweaking that will need to be done. But apart from a few modest changes, the workflow essentially is the same. And so let's finish this one off and head over to PixInsight. And the first thing we're going to want to do is I need to close out some boxes, dialog boxes, that I see that you don't, that are part of my streaming software. Okay. So we have combined the luminance layer to our essentially our RGB layer, RGB, in as much as we combine the sulfur channel with the red, part of the hydrogen alpha and part of the sulfur channel with the green, and the oxygen channel with the blue. But because it became RGB, we then added and pulled a luminance layer from that, and we created the luminance layer after we had done essentially all the processing plus MLT. We ran that smoothing noise reduction process, and we applied that instance to the image, and it was then that we pulled the luminance layer away by going here, and we took that luminance layer and we worked on it so that we had identified our luminosity from corner to corner, and got our detail and our stars the way we liked it. Then we stretched it, and then essentially put it back in its pocket and left it there until the conclusion really of our processes, and at which time then we applied it. There's still room for more color intensification and saturation, and you could also continue to try to bring out some more of the oranges and the reds in these faint areas of nebulosity. It's just what suits your taste, but I'm kind of liking this subtle nebulosity throughout the whole picture, with framing the center of this with this kind of a stronger show really of the colors in both blue and I really don't know what that color is, sort of kind of an orangish color. But we're going to have to reapply StarNet, and we'll want to create another star mask, and the reason is that the star mask that we currently have, that we use for deconvolution, it is not the same star mask. We ran a star reducing algorithm over here with this morphological transformation, and we not only reduced star size, but some of the fainter stars were kind of disappeared. So we need a new star mask, and so we're going to start by doing that, and we're just going to drag an instance of that on top of this. I also I want to create a layer where there are no stars at all, and when you do that, you really do get a picture of just how much luminosity is in this image. You can see the luminosity in here, but it's nothing quite like when you remove the stars. So we're going to remove the stars from this picture, and I'm going to keep that in the project, and then we're going to create another new star mask. So let's go ahead and do that by dragging this triangle on top of our image. So we have created our luminosity layer, our star mask, and we created our nebulosity, not luminosity layer, and you can see that excuse me, when you remove the stars, you clearly do create a kind of an all different look to the image. And we're just going to call this nonlinear no stars, and we have no use for it, so we'll click it over there, and we're going to this is our star mask, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to apply it to our image, because we're going to run a noise reduction algorithm by we have a choice. We can run TVGDenoise, and when you do this, you can pick either the RGB or the chrominance. It matters not. I can't tell any difference when you do that. But you will need to create a mask, and also we want to sample the background and get a reading of the background, so we'll know how much edge protection we need to apply, and we'll enter those numbers right here. So but I think what I want to do with this mask is rather than run TVGDenoise, we'll use that on the one-shot color camera processing. But I think what I want to do here is run the ACDNR noise reduction filter and our instance. These are the settings that I like to use, and so you may want to screenshot. You can find that by going to Process, All Processes, and then ACDNR is the very first one. And with that being said, let's just go ahead and apply this. I aborted the process because I was about to make a big boo-boo. I applied the star mask, but I don't want to smooth the stars. I want to only smooth the background. So what I want to do is go up to the mask and invert it. Now we'll apply the noise reduction algorithm. Okay, we have finished the running the ACNDR smoothing algorithm, and I'll remove the mask. And as far as PixInsight is concerned, I'm going to put this one in the can. However, I'm going to move this image into Photoshop, and I'm going to selectively work on each of these different colors using Photoshop and a plugin from Nik software. So let's save this and call this a wrap. I'm going to go to Astro 2 2021 July IC 1318, and we're going to call this IC 1318 ready for Photoshop. Not very creative, and we're going to use a TIFF file, and we're going to take 16-bit unassigned integer, and we're going to save it. Okay, folks, I'm going to come back with one more part, and that's taking this into Photoshop and making some effects to the color using Nik software in Photoshop. Have a great rest of the day, and clear skies to you.